RuPaul's Drag Race. We are back to the top six again after no eliminations last week, but you can rest assured that that is not going to happen again this week. I've got some mixed feelings on all of our drag queens' performances this week. You know, we had two that were clearly the top, and then I really felt like our other four just didn't quite deliver this week. And getting this close to the end, that's a little bit disappointing. So our maxi challenge for the week was to create a 5 minute, that's very key, 5 minute Sherry count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, Sherry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minute, one woman show. So this is usually like somebody is ready for this. They're ready, they can deliver, and it really felt like none of our queens were ready for this episode to come, and none had a rock solid concept for what they wanted for a 5 minute show, which is very bizarre to me because there is always some sort of performance along this line every single season, and it always happens right when we're down to the end of the show. So let's go through our performances. To me, the top two were Jackie and Crystal by a mile. Jackie was funny, she was intimate, she kind of delved into her life a little bit. And then Crystal was just hilarious. When I heard Crystal's concept, I thought, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. This is going to bomb so hard. And yet she crushed it. Even the judges were like, this is stupid. You've taken stupid to another level, and we loved it. And that's what it was. She was out there as Phenomenal Phil, the celebrity strip dancing exercise instructor, and it was just priceless. She was doing like these gags about doing the incorrect, like a classic dance move name and then the incorrect move, and then did this whole kitty litter box thing, dumping out, and it was just hilarious start to finish. And Crystal takes home her first win of the season. Big props to Jackie as well. She was right there with Crystal. I think a little bit of her routine didn't quite hit as hard and as funny as Crystal's did, but Jackie was also trying to be, you know, a little bit more heartfelt than Crystal was. And I just think both just put on a great performance. So now our next person below them, I won't quite group her with the bottom this week, and that was Gigi Good. She had a great concept. It was funny, but she just kept having these little awkward moments in it where it was like she was trying to remember what's the next punchline, what's the next gag I'm going to go to. It wasn't fluid, and I think if it had been fluid, if she'd, you know, maybe it's just a matter of if her having an extra couple hours to practice, then I think she would have been right there in the top. After that, to me, the bottom three was Sherry Pie, who put on a 17-minute performance for a 5 minute challenge, and it still blows my mind that she wasn't in the bottom two today. Like that's unacceptable. You were 12 minutes over. You were more over than the longest link you were allowed to go. And to me, it doesn't matter that she was hilarious. She was over 3 times the asking length. And Michelle Visage put it very, very well. And she just said, Sherry, you are selfish. And that is very, very true. I think we all know that to be a true statement after everything we've heard about Sherry outside of the show. So yeah, I was a little disappointed she wasn't in the bottom. So that leaves our bottom two as Heidi and Jaida. Really, I think you can lump their performances together. They just didn't quite give us enough detail to be there with them. Heidi was doing all these different characters, and it was hard to follow which character she was, what differentiated the characters, and then, like, why was it supposed to be funny? It's like, yeah, an old angry lady. That's it. That was the joke. Potato salad. That was another joke. Slick. That was a joke. And like, I mean, they just didn't land. It just wasn't funny. And then Jaida, uh, her story was just all over the map. And it's one of those things where, one on one in an intimate setting where she's not under this pressure to perform, it's probably a hilarious story. Like when you think about the story and what I got out of it, because, the details were not clear, it sounded like it's probably a pretty funny story. And if she had delivered it a little clearer, made a little more emphasis on the punchline and what the punchline was, like, was the punchline the peeing or the hot dog with onions? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. So we end up with Heidi and Jaida in our bottom two, one of them about to go home, when I thought we were gearing up to probably have both of them in our final four. And now, like, that final four it's really one more queen has to go home. That's it. And we're into that final four. So it's going to be very interesting. So our lip sync, as I said, Jaida versus Heidi, and Jaida absolutely brought it. I was really rooting for Heidi, but she got obliterated in this lip sync. And I think that this should be a wake-up call for Jaida. She's been at the top a bunch this season, 3 wins under her belt, and this was probably the little slap in the face that she needs to just say, hey, I need to step my game up if I want to win this, and no more mistakes, no more fumbling, no more falling down, because from here on out, one mistake is all it takes to get sent home. All right, that wraps up my recap for this week. We're running out of time here, getting down to the end of the season. I honestly have no clue who out of our final 5 is going to win or who's probably going to go home next week. And that makes it a very interesting end to the season. So I'm looking forward to it. And I will be here next week to recap our next episode. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.